Back, you're listening to the More Than Love podcast. I got my boy Q on the line, one of my college homies that I met through Instagram. What's going on, Q?
What's going on, Terry? How you, man?
Not much, bro. I appreciate you coming on, man, and give a young man's perspective on dating and some of the observations that you make about women and their behaviors. I see you on your page dropping knowledge and giving insight, and you are one of the people that I see that seems to actually give an authentic perspective on what's really going on. So I applaud you for that. So before we get into the topic or start having discussing it, give the viewers a little bit of perspective on yourself, so they can know who we dealing with.
As Terry said, I'm on Instagram. Y'all can follow me, Lyle_Q, SUABE_Q. 25 years old. I attend Drexel University. I'm a senior psychology major. Been on the dating scene a while, even though I'm so young. I started early, and it just always, I was like a little, I ain't gonna say I was a little playboy, but I definitely, was around a lot of girls and, been around, dated around, and I noticed a lot of the things that, just from observing, being around a lot of women, having a lot of female friends, growing up in the household with my mom and my sister, and I was the only boy. I got to basically see how women operate and learn exactly how, they view relationships. And a lot of the things I noticed that almost every woman I come in contact with was always having issues with guys one way or another. I'm like, man, what's going on? Like, so, psychology, the backstory to that, I got into psychology, especially behavioral science and research and, looking at human behavior, and especially in the context of relationships and romantic relationships.
That's what's up, man. Psychology plays a real big part into how people date and how they formulate their dating strategies. So I would think that I know in undergrad, psychology was my favorite course that I took. But I'm real logical and intellectual like that. But my major was mass communication, so I focused on media production. But I've always understood the psychology behind an audience or the crowd. That's kind of one of the things that you focus on in mass communication. But it definitely translates to dating as well. Understanding the mindsets of women makes it easy for me to point out the inconsistencies, the hypocrisy, the things that are counterproductive to reaching their goals, etc. So that's kind of why I take the approach that I do on my page with the advice and, kind of set the tone where I'm focusing primarily on things that women do that create problems with men or are seen as illogical or don't make sense. And so I figure if women can fix those things or change some of those things, they have a much better chance of getting a quality dude to want to settle down with them.
And see, that's the number one mistake a lot of women make. The issue with them, piggybacking off of what you said, is women simply, they don't understand men. And I don't know why, a lot of women take the approach like they're already experts on dating and relationships, but like it comes with some kind of manual. It doesn't. And, it's really just that simple.
Yeah, I mean, because when I talk to people about dating, people talk about it like it's this massive thing, like it's this real big deal, and it's really just about mutual respect. You know what I mean? Like, I get along with other men because we have a mutual respect. If it's a problem, we can address it like men instantly without passive aggressively, without me talking about you behind your back. Like, now there are men that do like that. You got to deal with bitch ass dudes and dudes that act like women, etc. But quality men usually get along with one another. You know what I'm saying? Unless there's something specific that causes a rift or conflict between them, most situations can be resolved with a simple conversation. But that's when your logic is sound and fair and reasonable and objective. That's not what we get a lot of times when women are explaining what they think and feel. That's kind of why it's so easy for me to expose the hypocrisy with women. how they'll say one thing, then criticize a man for doing what they said that men should do. So it's like things like that where it's like they put men in lose-lose situations, or situations where he's going to be treated as if he's wrong no matter what he does, which ends up destroying relationships.
Exactly, I'm currently in a relationship. I've been in a relationship for 8 months now, and I point out those kind of things with my lady all the time. You know, I specifically hit on when women tend to express themselves or their dislikes or something that makes them feel some type of way that the man does. But when we do it in return, we don't get that same level of respect that they give us. They try to downplay, you know, our emotions and say, you know, oh, it's not that deep, or you being sensitive. You know what I mean? And it's like it's really that.
I know you're not describing shaming, are you, Q? Sounds an awful lot of like shaming to me. You know, I get accused of shaming women for pointing out what they do that's problematic. But what you just said, it sounds like shaming to me. When they ridicule a man or try to make him feel less than a man for expressing his hurt or anger about something. You know what I mean? It demonstrates that a lot of women really don't give a fuck about the male perspective. Now they'll say they do, and they'll go through the motions, but when men are expressing themselves to women, most men will attest they're either interrupted or ignored. Oh, you're lying. Oh, what about that? Oh, like we see the deflecting in the comments on my page all the time. And those are the same type of behaviors that men experience face to face when they're engaging with women, especially when they're calling them out on their bullshit or holding them accountable for something that they've done. It always gets flipped to something in the past that you did, something that hurt her feelings, or something that made her mad from the past. Like, and for most men, it is very frustrating to do because they don't have the communication skills to be able to thoroughly explain their perspective and get their side of the story out. You know, a lot of men just resign to the fact that she's not going to listen and deal with that frustration, which leads to some of the things we talk about. Finding another woman to confide in, etc.
Yeah, a lot of them just give up. You know, man, I ain't gonna even. You don't want to listen to me. You ain't gonna take what I'm saying. You ain't gonna value it. Then there's no point in me even talking. And that's where a lot of the miscommunications occur, because women just, like I said, they don't understand men, and they don't want to understand men. A lot of women act as if they don't want to understand men. You know, a lot of times they say it's not about being right or being wrong. It's just about sharing perspective. But if you're trying to tell me how I should or I shouldn't feel, or you're telling me how I feel is not that deep, as if you have the value system of a man, then
you don't really care. Yeah, I mean, and that's interesting how women always seem to come to my page, right? Because the whole purpose of my, style of relationship advice is I just want to be able to give an authentic male perspective. Like, I see a lot of men giving their perspective, but it's not really authentic. It's pandering to women. It's telling them what they want to hear. It's giving them fluffy cliches and all type of bullshit, which I don't feel is helpful. So I've observed that there are several women that are completely clueless about how quality men operate. And so I figured, man, well, if I let them send me questions and I just answer the shit brutally honest, allow other men to chime in and give their 2 cents, that'll give women a real authentic perspective. Because I know that I don't represent all men, but everything that I say has logic, reasoning behind it. You know what I mean? And there's no malicious intent. I'm not talking about a dude that's trying to fuck over you or get over behind your back. I'm talking about a stand-up guy's perspective on dating. And so that's where a lot of men come to me, and they're thankful that I provide a voice for those type of men. Where, like, man, we ain't out here trying to hurt your feelings. We not out here trying to get over on you, even though that's what a lot of y'all think. Y'all been programmed to believe that, but that's not the reality. I've never sat around with a group of guys and just heard them trying to figure out how to hurt a girl's feelings. Trying to, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I've seen women plot and plan to do that. I've seen
Oh,
women put together elaborate schemes to catch a dude cheating or put a dude on blast. So a lot of the things that I observe, I try to fix by just giving that authentic, real male perspective that is really, really missing in society.
and that's the best approach you can take. That brutal honest perspective. That's the best perspective because that ties back to the expectations. The expectations are, I call it the Disney effect. You know, they want things to last forever. They want things to be perfect. They want love to be completely 50-50. They want the guy to cater to all their feelings and all their needs. And it's like, nah, men are humans too. Like, you know what I'm saying? We're going to be our own, we have our own identities. We're going to be our own person. We can't do everything your way. So that brutally honest perspective that you give sets up realistic expectations. And I think that's the perfect approach. That's what I love so much about your page, is the brutally honest perspective, because I give a brutally honest perspective. We can't, that's the issue. We can't let women continue to have these unrealistic expectations of what relationships should be like. And that's what they predicate how they operate in relationships off of, their unrealistic expectations. You got to give them that spice, that what they don't want to know, what they don't want to hear.
Yeah, I mean, it comes with a cost, man. You know what I mean? It comes with a lot of hostility, a lot of disrespect, a lot of ridicule. You
My girl
get,
comes here asking all the time.
yeah, you get accused of
Yeah,
hating
yeah, I
women,
get
bashing women, all that type of stuff. But I'm big on definitions. I can Google the definition of any of these words that are being thrown at me, and I can clearly demonstrate how what I'm doing doesn't fit that definition. So I'm equipped to deal with it in a social media stage, um, and I just take the negative that come with it. But I found that I see more. Well, I get more fulfillment from the positivity that I get. DMs and emails from people all around the world about how simply hearing me explain things that they men have been trying to explain for years. They finally got it. They finally listened. They finally understood that he wasn't bullshit no more. Trying to get over on him. You know what I mean? Like, so it feels good to hear women and tell me things like that. And for men that use my page and use my post as tools to help their relationships, screenshotting stuff, sending it to their girl. Me putting together a thought or explaining something that they want their girl to be privy to, so they share the information with them. Like those are valuable things that don't cost you any money. You know what I mean? And so to see that people are able to benefit from those things, and I'm able to reach so many people with just a device and an internet connection, that's a very powerful thing. So, just think about it. This podcast wouldn't be happening if you hadn't followed my page. So it's allowed me to connect with so many other people and to provide a voice and an outlet where people can access me on demand through YouTube, through Instagram, etc. And always have something that, just if you want a conversation you have with friends, you can go to my page and bring it up and have something hot, some type of hot topic discussion, or people that are actually dealing with these particular problems. So I like to get other people on that have different perspectives or in different phases of life. So I wanted to ask you a couple questions, since you in college and you have this, mature perspective on dating or whatnot. Um, how how much do you think social media impacts or hinders the dating experience for college students these days?
Well, I would have to say, I think social media actually hinders more than it helps, because for the simple fact that it's so difficult, especially for men, if you don't have a name, or social status, that's tied to you, that's attached to you, it's hard to get in contact with a lot of women. It's hard to get a lot of women to meet you. Now, me personally, I didn't have that problem because a lot of women found me attractive enough. I had some of my Instagram followers, a couple times drive from different states just to see me or spend time with me or
For
go out on
real?
a date with me. Yes, I have numerous Instagram followers. I'm talking about 15, 20. Yes, I've spent time with a lot of my Instagram followers just that I never even met before. You know, I just hit them up. You know, one girl hit me up and was like, "Can you come over?" And she lives in New Jersey, and I was like, "You don't even know me." And she was like, "You seem cool, you handsome." She was rich, you know, she had rich folks and everything like that. So I swung through and chilled with her, you know. So, but for the average guy, I think I think social media just serves as a platform for them to be able to view women that they would like to have a shot with. I don't really think it benefits most of the men who actually interact with women online because you know they leave us on red and DMs and for the most part, and then they want to blast us and put us on blast and you know
It's
this
true.
guy's thirsty. You know, so I really feel like for me it was very beneficial. But a lot of guys that I asked around, and in my psychology and sexual behavior class, we discussed the benefits of social media when it comes to dating. And my professor was like, "Yeah, it doesn't really work." And he told me, he loved me. He told me, he said, "A guy like you," he said, "you don't need to go on social media to find a girl." He said, "You can walk up. I bet with that smile, you can walk up to any girl on this campus and get her." So that's exactly verbatim what my professor told me. So
Yeah,
yeah, the dating
that's
scene.
true. I mean, well, I studied when I was in grad school. I studied social media and how. Well, specifically, I did my final report on how Facebook increases a man's romantic relationships. So I studied the correlation between being on Facebook and how it increased the number of sexual opportunities men had or sexual
Oh yeah,
encounters.
it increases the opportunity. Yeah,
Yeah,
it does.
absolutely it
It does.
does, and it's more beneficial to men that are successful in real life because if you have a real life that's popping and live the type of lifestyle that they already like, that's going your
Exactly.
Instagram is going to reflect
Exactly.
that. Your
Right.
selfies, you at the club or you doing whatever. If it's part of the lifestyle that they already can envision themselves being in, it gives you a unlimited source of women to potentially meet. So I know that it can help by making it easier to meet more people. It can make it more
Yeah.
difficult by increasing people's trust issues and insecurities, and dealing with people that feel the need to be validated by it. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
so now we live in an era where you have to actually gauge how much value a person places on social media. You know what I mean? Because some
Right.
people
Yeah, that's
actually
a good
live
thing.
vicariously through social media and having followers and all this type of stuff. So it's a different era where we have different things that we have to really address and pay attention to. But social media really the ultimate thing is it depends on how you use it. You know, a lot of people are finding ways to make money off of it, connect with others, network, etc. And a lot of people are using it to fuel their insecurities and their hatred. So
Yeah. I think that's what most people are using it for, to show their insecurity and their hatred.
yeah,
It's a
unfortunately I have to
self-gain.
agree because I mean it just seems like social media just in general breeds negativity due to the fact that
Yeah.
people can make comments anonymously. You know what I mean? Like some people get get fired or get put on blast when they do something, but for the most part, most people like on Instagram and Twitter and things like this, a lot of these people are anonymous. They have some handle that nobody really knows who they really are unless they've made the mistake of posting some personal information that people can use to track them down.
Right. I've even had numerous pages, made fake pages after me. I had I had I had three pages make a fake. I had three different pages on Facebook. I've had like 4 or 5 pages on Instagram that make pages after me. And you know that's one of the things that I pay attention to. It's like, see that speaks volumes right there. You know, someone has to pretend to be me. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, that's pretty
that
whack.
just paints that picture on its own.
All right, man. Well, look like we're up against the clock, man. I appreciate you taking out the time to come on the podcast with me. Before we get out of here, man, let the followers know how they can find your page or get your content.
Oh yes, y'all can follow me on Instagram. Swave, as I said at the beginning, that's SUAVE_Q. That's my Instagram, and that will lead y'all to the rest of my pages. I got everything connected from there, so y'all make sure y'all go follow me. And I appreciate you having me on here, Terry. I appreciate chopping it up with you. Keep doing your thing, man. Page, I love it. Everything you're doing.
All right, man. I appreciate the love. We're about to take a quick break. When we come back, me and Jay will do some follow up, and we'll get out of here. You listen to another episode of the More Than Love podcast. Thanks for tuning in.